Hello everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Destiny video. Today I am showing you the latest deck that I've been playing with. This is Darth Vader and MagnaGuard. So we are running Darth Vader at 21 points for his elite cost, and we are running a single MagnaGuard for 9, bringing our total up to 30. So Vader, 13 health, 2 melee damage, 3 melee damage, 2 disrupt, 1 shield, 1 resource, blank, and after you activate this character you may force an opponent to choose and discard a card from their hand. MagnaGuard, 8 health, 1 melee damage, 2 melee damage for a resource, 2 melee damage for a resource, shield, resource, blank, and before this character would be defeated by damage, instead defeated after this round ends. So it can stay on the board and take additional damage throughout the round, even if it already has lethal damage on it, and then when that round ends, it gets defeated. And we are running the Secluded Beach from Scarif. So claim, remove an opponent's die showing range damage. So if we win the battlefield, none of my dice have range damage. All my dice are melee damage. So all my dice are pretty much going to be immune to this battlefield. Let's go into our upgrades. We are running 2 Ancient Lightsabers for 2 resources. 1 melee damage, plus 3 melee damage, shield, resource, blank, and as an action, you can heal 2 damage from the attached character. Place this upgrade on the bottom of your deck. So if Vader is taking quite a bit of damage, we can heal him and put this on the bottom. This is probably mostly going to go on Vader because the MagnaGuard is basically there just to die, essentially. So we don't really necessarily need to heal the MagnaGuard, but we're going to be using the MagnaGuard to keep damage off of Vader. So we have 2 Vibroknife, 2 resources, 1 melee, plus 2 melee, discard resource blank, has ambush, so you get that additional action after you play it. And while this die is in your pool, melee damage dealt by your dice, including this die, is unblockable. So quite a bit of unblockable damage coming out if we get the Vibroknife out. We're running 2 Z6 Riot Control Batons for 3 resources. 2 melee damage, 3 melee damage for a resource, 2 blanks, has redeploy, so we can move it to another character if the attached character is defeated. And after you roll this die into your pool, you may re-roll it. So it has 2 blanks, so if it rolls a blank, you have the option to re-roll it and hope to get a better result. We are running 2 Electrostaff, 2 resources, 1 melee damage, plus 2 melee, or plus 1 melee damage, plus 2 melee damage, plus 3 melee damage, disrupt, shield, blank, and the resource cost of the attached character's dice that are being modified by this die is decreased by 1. So if we have this on a modifier and we have this on the MagnaGuard, let's say it's 2 melee damage. MagnaGuard had rolled 2 melee damage for a resource, and we rolled the plus 1 on this, or the plus 2, or whatever, or the plus 3. We don't have to pay the resource cost to resolve the MagnaGuard's die, and then resolve this alongside of it. You can also throw this on Vader just for additional damage, but it's kind of meant to go on the MagnaGuard because it has the 2 pay sides on its die. You're running 2 Praetorian Guard, 2 resources, 1 melee, plus 2 melee, shield, resource, blank, and the attached character that this is on also gets Guardian. So you throw this on the MagnaGuard and then also have the Guardian ability on him to deal damage to it to remove an opponent's die. And finally, we have 2 Plastoid armor. 0 resources, the attached character gains plus 1 health. So you can throw this on either Vader or MagnaGuard. If you throw it on MagnaGuard, this is going to be more damage that it can withstand before it gets defeated, which it, again, defeats at the end of the round. We can also just use it on Vader to bring him up by 1 health. I actually had one game where MagnaGuard was already defeated, and then I drew a Plastoid armor. I just threw it on Vader to give him that extra health. Let's move into our events. So first up, I have 2 Lightsaber pull. 0 resources, spot a blue character to search your deck for a blue weapon, reveal it, and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. So let's say we have the Ancient Lightsaber on Vader. We use it to heal damage. We put the Ancient Lightsaber on the bottom of the deck. This will allow us to get that lightsaber back. I have 2 Lightsaber throw, 1 resource. Play only if you have 1 or more dice showing melee damage, and then deal 2 damage to a character. 2 isolation, 1 resource, spot a blue character to remove a character die. We have 2 force strike, 1 resource, turn 1 of your blue dice to a side showing melee damage, then you may resolve that die. So if Vader rolls a blank, we can pay a resource, flip it to his 3 damage side, and then resolve that 3 damage. We have 2 fate, so 1 resource, activate 1 of your characters, then you may remove all of its character and upgrade dice to ready it. So we're using this on Vader. So we're going to pay 1, activate Vader, have them discard a card. Let's say the roll is bad, so it's like a lot of blanks and stuff like that. We can remove all of Vader's dice, ready him. Later in the round, we can roll Vader again and have them discard another card. Or if you actually like the roll, you are able to just leave the dice in your pool as well. 2 tactical mastery, so 1 resource. Spot a red character to take up to 2 additional actions. So if MagnaGuard is still around, we can play this and then get 2 additional actions. One nice thing with the MagnaGuard is, since it defeats at the end of the round, let's say he's technically been defeated, he has 8 damage on him, and the round hasn't ended yet, I can still play tactical mastery and still spot the MagnaGuard to take those 2 additional actions. You then have 2 Cannon Fodder, 0 resources. Deal one of your non-unique characters damage equal to the value of an opponent's die, showing either ranged or melee damage, then remove that die. So again, we're going to be using this on MagnaGuard to keep damage off of Vader. So let's say your opponent had a 2 melee die showing, you can resolve that against the MagnaGuard, then remove it. And since the MagnaGuard doesn't defeat until the end of the round, you can actually, he may even be already defeated, you can still use Cannon Fodder on him, even if he technically has all his damage on him already. We are then running 2 best defense, 1 resource. Deal one of your red characters 3 damage to remove up to 2 of an opponent's dice. So again, same thing with Cannon Fodder. We're going to use this to deal damage to the MagnaGuard to remove 2 dice, and if the MagnaGuard is middle of a round, it can still take additional damage with the best defense or Cannon Fodder, like I mentioned before. And finally, we have 2 logistics. 0 resources, spot a red character to resolve one of your dice showing resources, increasing its value by 1. So MagnaGuard, let's say he's already defeated, but you can still spot him mid-round before he would technically be defeated at the end of the round to still be able to play logistics. So the whole theme of this deck is keeping Vader alive by directing damage to the MagnaGuard with Cannon Fodder, best defense, as well as potentially using Guardian on Praetorian Guard, and then also potentially swinging in for massive amounts of melee damage with both Vader and MagnaGuard with the abundance of melee weapons in the deck. So we have the Lightsaber, the Ancient Lightsaber, I should say, the Vibroknife, the Riot Baton, the Electrostaff, and the Praetorian Guard upgrade, which all 5 of these upgrades will give melee damage. And then we have events that will let us remove dice, like Isolation, Cannon Fodder, Best Defense. We can also turn bad dice rolls into decent rolls by using something like Force Strike to flip a die from a blank to like a 3, and then resolve that die. And we have ways to keep Vader alive with Lightsaber Pull, so we can play the Ancient on him, heal him, put it on the bottom, and pull it back with Lightsaber Pull. So it's a pretty fun deck. I actually was running Price of Failure for a little bit, and that was actually pretty successful as well, but I took it out just due to the fact that now people can use coercion on that and force you to play the Price of Failure. However, you can pass as an action with, passing isn't an action, so you can actually pass, but you're basically going to be passing your entire round, so you don't have to use that card against one of your characters. So I took out the Price of Failure. It was fun for a while where I was able to have the MagnaGuard eat a bunch of damage, and then using Price of Failure to defeat him to ready Vader. But a little too risky with coercion now being out in the game. So this is the deck. There'll be a deck list in the description below. Let me know what you think of the deck. As always, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.